Here we go, and welcome back to Possumwood Puppets and Puppet Building World. Today we are going to make a few puppet noses. Puppet eyes are probably the most important part of your puppet face. They capture the character, but the nose can add so much character. The nose can make a huge difference. And puppet noses can be simple or complex. The simplest nose, if you're looking for a simple nose, take a ping-pong ball. That's it, ordinary ping-pong ball. You can paint it. You can cover it with fleece. Just a little bit of spray glue or contact cement on the ball. Wrap that around. Let that dry. Trim off your fleece and back. You've got a nose. You can cut the ball in half and make half a nose. You could use styrofoam eggs. I've used styrofoam eggs for nose. Make a nice egg-shaped nose. That's the simplest nose. This is a very simple nose I've used on some of my puppets. It's just a cast eye. Casties are hard wrestling for the eyes, but instead of using it for an eye, again, just glue on the fleece, and you got a nice, smooth nose. Put that right in the middle of your puppet's face. Those are the easy noses. Easiest. You want to go a little more detailed? What you can do is take a circle of felt or fleece or other fabric, whatever fabric you want for your nose. That's a circle, and you can make all different sizes, little ones, big ones, or in the middle. You can make them oblong. You can make them this way, and this would stick out the front of the face. Another shape for a nose. And to make these noses, it's real simple. What I've done is I've made a slip stitch all the way around the outside of the fleece. I then take myself some foam batting, make a little ball. And what I'm going to do is grab my needle and pull that slip stitch tight right around it. And I made a huge mistake here because I didn't secure the end. So, if you're going to do a slip stitch, you got to make sure that your first stitch is locked in, for it's not going to pull out. I can't believe I did that. I know better than that. But I'm filming, so of course I'm going to make a mistake. And like a lot of puppeteers, I'll leave my mistake in the video, and some people, of course, will remove the mistake. What I'm going to do, once I get that first stitch and it's locked in there, and I can just stitch around the outside very quickly, in and out, in and out. Doesn't take but a moment. Doesn't have to be perfect, because where you pull it tight will be the back of the nose, so it won't be seen. You do that all the way around. I've done it on this one, and hopefully I've actually tied this one off. It appears I have. This is a much bigger one. This one you can actually see the slip stitch. I would normally try to match the color. Again, it doesn't matter. It will be on the back of the puppet. But by using the dark threads, you can see where I just stitched all the way around. You can see it on the other side. Just in, out, little slip stitch. Probably need a little more batting for a little bit bigger nose. It's a nice big nose. Get myself some batting right in the center. And pulling that tight. And you see when I pull it tight, it just wants to cinch right up all the way around. Okay, you see that's just pinching all the way around for me. Get that nice and tight. And see, I have a nose. All I need to do now is take my needle. And this is so cool. This needle is self-threading. Still need to have good eyes, so give me a moment. If I go off camera, I'm just trying to see what I'm doing. Very interesting. Self-threading needle. You probably can't see it, but in that eye there's a little notch. I do it just right. Actually, that comes right in. Now, get my thread tightened the back, and I'm just gonna stitch. Yeah, bring this in here, get a good knot and lock that in. Get that locked in there real good. Come to your side, kind of square it up here a little bit. There we go. I can trim that off. And of course I can, whoa! I can shape this nose a little bit. I can roll it, get a nice roll. I could push it up. If I wanted to, I could go in this side with the needle and out the other side, pull up little nostrils. So you can pull little nostrils. That's a nice, simple puppet nose that I'll be using on another puppet later. This one, and this is so cool, this is a hook-shaped nose. I haven't sewn the back yet. I'll stitch that up, tighten it up. It's got the batting in it. But that's this pattern right here. And I'm going to put a link at the bottom of the video on YouTube for the pattern. Okay. If I throw this into a how-to video to be purchased along with other as a bonus, then you'll find the pattern with your other patterns. It's a simple hook pattern. Two little marks is where I don't stitch. So I slip stitch all the way around. I'll leave that open. Then I can stuff it, and then I can sew that closed. Say with this one. Okay, again, got a couple little marks over here where I'll leave that open for I can stuff it about an inch. This one will be kind of like this, only be more of a human shape. Same with this one. And I got my round ones. Now you could modify the hook to be what you want it to be, or you could just kind of make a wiener shape, you know, like a hot dog shape, and if you want something sticking straight out. But it's real simple. You make your shape on your paper, you do your slip stitch. That's a pretty cool nose. I like that. I can see this on like a witch or a troll, a goblin. I don't have this. I'm working on this head right now. Let's see. I was to put that. Well, let me get a couple pins and stick that on there, so we can get a good view without my fingers in the way. There we go. And you can see how this would make a nice witch nose, a goblin nose, that sort of thing. It's not on there perfectly, you can kind of see how that would work. I'll be using this. later on another puppet. As I said, the ping pong ball for a nose. Get that fleece on there. Glue that on. Put that on. Be looking nice. Nice round nose, like a clown nose. Same with the half dome. You know, you picture that half dome is a very make a very subtle nose, and you cover that with fleece. You can paint it, and I'm using a cast I've made for puppet eyes, and I've used these for noses. You can also cut your ping pong ball down. Now this one, this puppet, this nose, this is EVA foam carved down to make a nose. Got my little nostrils there. So more of a human nose. It doesn't really want to lay flat yet. That would be stitched on. So we can see how that would look. Now this is so cool. It's a little bit of work. It starts out, there's my pattern. Got the nose, and then I got this little piece. And again, and this piece, go right here, and now you can barely see it. Kind of arches up. I'll include those patterns. And what I do, I use half inch EVA foam. It's hard, like an exercise mat foam. And I take two pieces and glue them together. That makes a half. I cut those out. This is a different pattern, but I cut those out to make for the pattern. That is that pattern. Cut those out. Glue those together. Contact cement. Hot glue, whatever makes you happy. Then I take this little piece here. That's this. Now I glue this right on. It puts me a very rough nose shape. Now the EVA foam is nice because if I want, I can put it on my grinding wheel. I have a bench grinder and I can shape it. So you take your scissors. Now, with the nostrils, I start down at the bottom. Right down here at the bottom. I'm going to cut up towards the back. So what's doing is it's coming, well, it's not quite flat enough. Now, real close in the front. Now I'm about to get up. So the front is down here level. The back still has your depth. That'll make your nostril. I can round these edges. Okay, don't leave square edges. Always round the edges. You can do the one back square. That's not important. I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to come down here at the bottom. Come up. So again, it's coming up. Let's see if I can get this. There. You guys see that airplane wing. It's coming up. Now I'm just going to trim these sides. Try to get this nice and relatively smooth. See how that's looking. And then, I've got this part here. Got this long edge and this long edge. We don't want those hard lines. I'm going to start coming up. And taking those lines off. All the way around, all the way up. And get up here. Get that line off. And when I cut that line off, I get another line. I'm going to cut that line off. What I want to do is I want to try and get nice and round, get my shape. And don't be afraid to nip it. Don't be afraid to nip and nip. And what I like to do at the top is right now the nose is as wide at the top as it is on the bottom. I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in right here to the center line. I'm going to get a good angle on this. Cut that down. I'm going to come back and trim this edge again. What I want to do is get some shape on that nose. You can kind of see this side now is coming down. Still has a ways to go. I'll come over to this side. Do the same thing. I found myself coming around the edge here. The nose will end up a little bit smaller than the initial pattern. I want to try and get these nice and smooth. When you look at your nose, you can look at it from the top, the bottom, the side, to work on your symmetry. Now, no one's nose is perfect. As Drew Allison says, what is symmetry? We're not perfectly symmetrical. Your puppet doesn't need to be perfectly symmetrical. But unless you're looking for a really odd looking puppet, we do want to try and get them close. I would generally put this on the grinding wheel and bring this down a little bit easier. But don't think that you can't do it with the scissors. It just takes time and patience. You can also bring out your razor blade. Bring that razor blade in. And kind of shave that down, get my shape. You gotta be careful with the razor blade though, easy to cut a finger. Nip, nip, nip. Don't use your good scissors on foam, by the way. Foam will tear up good scissors or dull them in no time. This is an old pair I have. Once in a while I'll sharpen it on a knife sharpening steel. This pair has had it, so I use them on paper and foam. There we go. Got a little more on this side. Starting to get a nose there. I'll need to work on that a little bit more. This is one I've already finished. This one is ready to be covered with fleece. And you'll notice I've got that nostril starting and coming up. Starting down here. Kind of flat. And coming up. You can see from the top it's pretty symmetrical. And this one's ready for foam. Fleece. This one I'll be fleecing. There's a good chance it's going on this fellow right here. We'll see how that looks, and that'll be nice. That's a nice nose right there. This one's ready. This one I started here. I'll still be working on trying to get that. I don't like this, and I think I got it better. Still going. But once you start, you just don't want to finish. And see, now it's looking pretty good. It's nice and smooth up top. I'll put this on the grinding wheel. It's the easiest way for me to get that. But you can do it with a razor blade or scissors. And get that down. Get that nice nose. And then I'll cover it with fleece. This one's interesting because instead of my little partial circle, this one I actually just punched out 2 round pieces of the EVA foam and glued those on the side on the nose. And this is a little bit smaller nose. This is a little bit narrower. It's a nice small nose. And made this for a lady puppet. Okay, simple nostrils. Not going to have the big nostrily look. Now the third way I found to make noses, third, that's a bad count. There's 5 or 6 here. This is called FOMO. FOMO is a moldable foam clay. It's a moldable foam clay. You bring it out of the container. Okay, and it's soft and pliable like clay. And you make your shape. This nose is made out of the FOMO. And I got my nostrils down here. There's a good shape to it right there. Look at that. Whoops. Sometimes it's hard to remember where the camera is from this angle. There we go. Got my little wings, my little nose. And once I sculpt it by my with hands, it's real fun. Just a little soft moldable clay. You make what you want, and it takes an hour or 2 to dry. It doesn't even take long to dry. Just a couple hours to dry. And once it's dry, got a pretty cool little nose. It's still soft. You know, it's going to hold its shape now. It's dried. It'll hold its shape. But even though it'll hold its shape, it is kind of bendable, kind of flippy floppy. Yeah, I can put that right on here. It gives me a pretty cool little nose for him. There's his nostrils. All right. And with this, you can paint it. Okay. And if you're using painted foam as opposed to fleece-covered foam, painting it would be the way to go. You can also cover it with latex. Mask-making latex. I've made puppets in the past that are covered with, the whole puppet head's covered with latex. And then you cover this with latex and it blend right in. Or you can also, of course, cover it with your fleece. Again, just contact cement, hot glue. You get to push right into those nostrils and put that fleece on there. And that'll look real nice with the fleece. Got a nice realistic puppet nose. I trim off the extras and push it into those nostrils. And makes a really great nose. That's FOMO. Here's that one puppet nose that says ready for fleece. This fleece pulls this way. And so I want my stretch going over the top of the nose. I'll just glue that here. I use hot glue when I put my fleece on my EVA nose. I'm going to put hot glue here along this line and hot glue underneath. And of course hot glue up through here. So I'll put this on. I'll be able to actually push this in. Right on that top of the nostril, we'll push it in. Sometimes you can use scissors. Push that right in, and the hot glue will hold it. And I do the same on the bottom. And when you do that, you get that good shape. You save your detail. You do that on both sides. I'll bring the nose around, and then you can trim the excess fleece, trim those wings you make, and with the hot glue, you just kind of push the fleece together. It'll make a pretty good seam without stitching. You can also stitch it. You can stitch it and use your ladder stitch, your slip stitch, and hide the seam pretty good. And once you do, but this one, if you look real close, you still don't see a whole lot. But here on the back, you can see a whole lot. That's just the glue is pushed together. That one's not real smooth. But here on the bottom, There's no sewing, but with the hot glue and pushing the pieces together, hides it pretty good. And by keeping your seams on the bottom, it's just not being seen on the puppet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count 5 ways. 5 ways I make puppet noses. And I will be linking to the patterns. I would ask, if you enjoyed the video, to put a little like on it. Those likes help me. Leave a comment if you want to leave a comment. If you want to see future videos, then you're going to want to tap the bell. And while you subscribe, then you tap the bell and you'll be notified of future videos. Come visit me at puppetbuildingworld.com, and you'll find lots of articles, some free patterns, where I buy my materials and sources. And I thank you for watching. I thank you if you can share this on Pinterest or Facebook, or where you share the things that you enjoy with other puppet builders. And I am finished. So please come visit us at puppetbuildingworld.com. Thank you. On off switch.